Alright, my friends, for the second part of CQI, we also want to talk about how we can multiply numbers, and then our answer could possibly get smaller. Let's look at the first one. It says 55 times a number will actually give you 55 hundredths. Now we know that 55 is now being multiplied by a number that will give you an answer that is less than what you started with. Okay, notice 55 hundredths is less than 55. And our possible answers here are 10, 100, 1/10, or 1/100th. So we know that we are multiplying by a number. So let's see what our possible choices are in solving this answer. Okay, so what I have right here is number 1. And I know that I have 55 times a number will give me 55 hundredths. And now when we think about this, we kind of think about multiplying it with decimals. And when we do that, remember, we relate a lot of decimals with fractions. And then we do that, we would think about, well, 55, well then how can I convert 55 to a fraction? I will put it as 55 over 1. Because 55 over 1 is technically the same thing as 55 over 1 is technically the same thing as 55 divided by 1. And when you do that, 55 divided by 1, you'll get 55. So notice my value has not changed of 55. I'm just putting it over 1. Okay, so 55 over 1 multiplied by a number that will be changed to a fraction will give you 55 hundredths. Now I would write that as 55 over 100. Okay, so the missing answer lies within here. So when I do that, I need to think about 55 times what would give 55. And I know that if I multiply by 1, I will get 55. And then 1 multiplied by a number will give you 100. And I know that if I place 100 here, I will get that answer of 100. So my answer is here. Now, my question was written in a decimal form, so I'm going to convert my fraction 100 into a decimal form. And I will write that as decimal 0.1 because that will be 100. And when I look up here, my possible answers are 10, 100, 1/10, or 100. So the answer will be D. And I know that because, well, it's getting smaller. So I know I need to multiply it by a number smaller than that. Okay? It's getting 1/10 smaller, and now it's getting 100 times smaller. So this answer actually is 100 times smaller than that answer. So I know that if I multiply 55 times 100, I will get 55 hundredths. Let's practice with the next one. For number 2, I have 36 multiplied by a number gives you 3 6/10. Well, what's happening to your value? It got 10 times smaller. It went from 36 to 3 6/10. And I know that I would write that as 36 times a number will give you 3 6/10. And we're trying to figure out what that number is. I know that if I convert this answer to a fraction, I will put it as 36 over 1 multiplied by a blank fraction for right now, we don't know what that fraction is, equals to 3 6/10. Now 3 6/10 can be converted to 36 tenths because you have 36 of those tenths. Okay? Then we have to think about it. 36 multiplied by what will give you 36? Well, I know I multiplied by 1, I will get 36. 1 multiplied by what will give you 10? I know I will put it as 10. So your answer is 1/10. And as a fraction, we're going to put it as 1/10. It's equivalent or the same thing as 1/10 as decimal form. And so I know my answer will be 1/10. Okay, so then my answer will be C because 36 multiplied by 1/10 will give you 3 6. Oops, can't forget. 36 multiplied by 1/10 will give you 3 6/10. Okay. So now my next problem is 50 multiplied by a number will give you 5,000. So I know that my answer increased. Okay, so how much did it increase by? It seems like it increased by 50 times, let's see, it looks like it increased by 100, but we'll see. Okay, so then I know I have 50 multiplied by a number gives you 5,000. Okay, so I know I need to convert that 50 into a fraction, and I will write it as 50 over 1 multiply by a number, a fraction will give you 5,000. Okay, so then that 5,000 is also a whole number, and I can always put it over 1. Similar to, remember when we said, why did we put it over 1? Because 5,000 over 1 is the same thing as 5,000 divided by 1. And 5,000 divided by 1 is the number itself as 5,000. Okay, that's just a reminder for ourselves. So then I know that I need to figure out, well, 50 times what will give me 5,000. Well, I know if I multiply by 100, I will get 5,000. Then 1 multiplied by what will give me 1? I know it will be 1. Okay, so your answer is 100 over 1. Well, 100 over 1 can be written or thought about as 100 divided by 1. And I know 100 divided by 1 will give me 100. Okay, so your answer would be 100. So 50 times 100 will give you 5,000. And we can always check our work by doing 50 times 100. Okay? Alright, our last problem would be 54 times a number will give you 540. So what I would do is I would put 54 times a number will give you 540. Okay? So I would convert that into a fraction, and I will put it as 54 over 1 multiplied by a number will give me, so that's supposed to be equal sign here, 540. Okay? And I will put 540 over 1 because that does not change my value. So 54 multiplied by what will give me 540? I know if I multiply it by 10, 54 times 10, it will give me 540. 1 times what will give me 1? I will put it as 1. So then I know my answer is 10 over 1. And 10 over 1, remember, is literally 10 divided by 1. And 10 divided by 1 will be 10. Okay? So my answer will be 10A. So 54 multiplied by 10 will give you 540. Well, that makes sense because if you make 54 10 times larger, it will be 540. Okay? So try the next couple of problems by yourself and see how it relates to the powers of 10 as well. Is it getting 10 times larger, 100 times larger, 10 times smaller, or 100 times smaller, a tenth of a number, or a hundredth of a number?